I am a wedding and event singer and MC. I sing for, from the ceremony all the way to the party at the reception, creating all the vibes, creating all the emotions, and just turning moments into memories. I think I've always been creative at heart. I have been singing since I was 7 years old. First, I always just thought it was a hobby. And then it got to 2020, COVID times, everything was uncertain, unsure, but it did, it was a period of reflection for me of what do I actually want to do with my life, and then I chose to make a career change. It definitely is a challenge, particularly with events, because some seasons are busier than others, so you sort of need to set yourself up to deliver more and give more energy out.
Today we're here with Antoinette from AT Entertainment. Antoinette, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for coming on and telling us about what your business, you offer, and everything you do. So
thank you for having me.
If you want to just start off by explaining a little bit about what you do and the services, I guess, you provide.
Yep, so I am a wedding and event singer and MC. So it's obviously quite a lot of that is in the name itself, but I obviously go to weddings. I sing for, from the ceremony all the way to the party at the reception, creating all the vibes, creating all the emotions, and just turning moments into memories. That's how I like to put it. And then I obviously MC as well. So if you don't need just a singer for the night, and you don't just need a soundtrack for your day, but you can also have someone who is the storyteller of the love story or of the event that you're putting on.
Love it, love it. So I've seen a couple of your stories, even you were at the wedding the other night, seeing you singing in the middle of the dance floor,
Yes.
Just quickly, does anyone from the event ever just try to steal the mic? Because I feel like if you're at an event, you have to give me the mic and I have to hit the high note as well,
Sometimes. It depends on it. I often find that a lot of kids, if they get really hyped up, they're just like, I want to have a turn. But it's all lots of fun. And I think I've gotten very strategic in terms of if I know I got to hit a big note or there's a big moment in the song that I know the couple or the client, that's having me for the event actually wants me to do. I have to be just very, very clever in trying to be like, I just want the mic. It's not just because I want my moment. It's more like, this is part of my job too. So I want to make sure that the performance is as seamless as possible.
And what got you into this industry?
I think I've always been creative at heart. I have been singing since I was 7 years old, and I knew that I always loved to perform. And at first I always just thought it was a hobby. And then it got to 2020, COVID times, everything was uncertain, unsure, but it did, it was a period of reflection for me of what do I actually want to do with my life. And then I chose to make a career change at 30 years old. And there was all these fears, like, am I too old to do this? Is it too late? All of these things. But I just didn't want to get to 80 years old and regret, not even trying. So I just thought I would try. And then I found something. I'd always done it as a hobby, but I actually wanted to turn my passion into something else and be able to share it on a more serious scale, and then be able to have fun with it too.
Amazing. So how long now has AT Entertainment been going on for?
About 3 years now.
3 years?
Yeah, officially. Yes, officially. So.
And where did you start? So where are your first gigs coming from? Like, how were you getting yourself out there?
First gigs were probably coming from a mixture of word of mouth and then also agencies as well. So I enlisted myself with a lot of entertainment agencies. That's quite an easy way to sort of start getting a little bit more experience. And then honestly, I just started bothering a lot of people in their DMs and being like, I'm a singer, I'd love to collaborate with you. I'd love to, try and get some experience with you. I don't mind shadowing you at a gig. It was very much a hustle in a sense of just getting my name out there. I didn't really care how much money I was making or anything. It was just a matter of what experience can I get to be able to build my reputation. Because it wasn't a matter of, do I have the talent to be able to do it? I mean, I believe that now. Didn't believe that then. But I just thought, well, I'm going to go hard or go home. And if I get rejected, that's just part of it. But there's going to be somebody else that is actually going to appreciate my talent and want to work with me. And I just need to find that alignment. So it was just, a little bit of a mix of different approaches doing that.
Great. So when you have to speak to these agencies, do you have to hit a high note for them or something so they know you can sing? Is there a list of prerequisites that you might need to do for them to oh, she can perform?
You pretty much just obviously you inquire with them first and then they ask to see a little bit of material from you. So I would often send, audio recordings, any video recordings that I've had of me performing. Prior to, pursuing AT Entertainment and pursuing singing, I was a dancer for 5.5 years. I did Brazilian samba. So I had a lot of content of me performing. So there was a lot of aspects of this is my performance nature, let's
Yep.
just say. And then I've got a lot of recordings to have like the singing to match. And so then that just sort of snowballed from there. You just send those in. I mean, obviously, sometimes in any industry, it's who you know and not what you know. And then if you know someone that might recommend you or whatever, you sort of, connect with those people more. But it's honestly just trial and error, to be honest, and that's it.
Yeah, and so a lot of your work is obviously using your voice, right?
Yes.
Singing, emceeing. What do you do to make sure that stays strong?
Oh yeah. Well, lots of voice rest wherever I can. So if I know I've got a really big gig, if I'm singing at a wedding, literally from start to finish, that sometimes is like a 14 to 16 hour day where I am on my voice. So I'm very strategic, even in terms of my bookings. If I know I've got a big gig like that, I will either have a day or two in between my next gig, or make sure, I have space and time to be able to have that recovery. Because it's obviously you have lots of honey and lemon teas, and I eat well and I work out and do all of those things. But the biggest thing is just rest, to be able to rejuvenate itself, because that is my instrument. I have to fine tune it, and I have to look after it in the best way. I can't exactly, just get a spray to shine the instrument. It's just I need to rest it.
And, And does that rest, is that like no speaking, or it's just like
no speaking?
No speaking at all?
No, I literally text my family the day of, and I'm like, I'm not talking to you today. Nobody call me. I'm in hibernation. Don't talk to me.
Right.
But yeah, and then you just find different ways, obviously. Even just, in terms of the foods you might eat, like I won't eat a lot of like acidic things or anything the day after, because it can irritate your throat and vocal cords. And I've done a lot of more research on that. And if I do have to speak or anything the next day, if I've, obviously there's events and everything that you might have, I'll just do like a lot of, vocal warm-ups and stuff like that, and just make sure I'm not pushing too hard on my voice to make sure I don't feel it in my throat. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So that next day, like I know when I go to the footy and I'm yelling at the players, I lose my voice, right?
Yeah. Well, this is why before a gig I know I can't go to the footy because I will lose it. So
is after a gig, is your voice typically like, not croaky, but does it have a little, can you see that it's been affected?
Yes, but it's a lot less than what it used to be, and I think it's just because of a lot of the work that I've done with vocal coaches and doing a lot of my own research and just really understanding the anatomy of my voice. And obviously as you get older, that changes. The amount of gigs that you might have in a week or the things that you have on will also impact that. So, I mean, it does get sometimes, if I'm on it all day, it'll be a little bit husky just from being tired. But then, with that, I sort of judge like, okay, I know I can't speak for the entire day, or at least for a portion of the day. You just need to judge it based on your own body. I just learned to be a lot more intuitive with it. So yeah.
And you're obviously doing big events. Is it people's wedding days? You can feel a bit of pressure and stress. Like, how do you manage that going into these?
Look, I think I get more nervous in the lead up. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist in my work. I'm very meticulous with all the details. I love to personalize as many of the elements as I can. So it is nerve-wracking. The adrenaline does keep going even in the lead up to the day, but once I get to that moment, I sort of switch into this mode of, I've done all the rehearsal I can, I've done all the planning I can, however it turns out, whether I forget a lyric, forget a step, forget a line, whatever it is, I actually can't do anything about it. And I also just want to, I mentally release myself from doing that, because then I also want to have fun with it. Because if you're not having fun, then you're not actually able to deliver on what you do. And that's 9 times out of 10 has worked in my favour. So
Love it. With your line of work in the entertainment industry, what could be one of the biggest misconceptions that people might have about what you do?
I think people underestimate the amount of effort that goes into the performance, and there might be this misconception that people just, like for myself, you just get up behind a microphone and you just speak, or you just sing a few songs. For a musician, obviously, just play your instrument and you'll be fine. I think the level of preparation, not only obviously if you're managing a business, is the admin side, but there's the creative preparation that is required, and the amount of effort that goes into it is definitely underestimated. And then people are very surprised to see all the work that goes into it. It's only the moment once you do it that you showcase what you've done, that they're like, okay, this isn't just picking up a microphone and and just singing along. That's just a karaoke session.
So how much of being an MC comes down to the preparation or more the improvisation?
I think in an ideal situation, it comes down more to the preparation, because you're finalising every detail on the run sheet. and even to the minute just before you go on, you're liaising with venue managers, kitchen managers, making sure meal times are still aligned, all of those things. So that is all part of the preparation. I like to also write like a personalised introduction speech for my couples that I MC for. So it's just, obviously making sure that all the details are in line and everything's just smooth sailing. However, there can be, like in any situation, you sometimes do need to improvise. Like you might write in some jokes or like write in a certain portion of the speech that you're doing, and it might not be received in the way that you anticipate. So then you need to think on the fly and then change it on the spot. So sometimes the balance of that can actually be a bit more to the actual delivery, respective to the preparation. Fortunately, that doesn't happen to me all the time, but it is always a possibility. So you need to be prepared for both.
A lot of the work you do, you probably have to gauge a little bit about how to read the room. Even some of the songs you sing, like maybe switching it up if people aren't really getting up and whatnot. Like, how do you approach that?
It's funny. It differs from one event to another, obviously because you're dealing with a different crowd. But reading energy is a very important skill that I've had to perfect. Nothing is ever perfect, but I've had to really evolve in. And I think when a crowd starts walking in, whether I'm emceeing, whether I'm singing, I look at how many younger people are in the crowd, how many older people are in the crowd. I often do a lot of cultural weddings, particularly Italian weddings, because I sing in Italian as well. So, it's like how many, like older Italians might be in the room, how many younger Italians might be in the room. That'll determine, which songs to also do in my Italian set. Just sort of also understanding, that's sounding weird, but like profiling people and being like, there's younger people, there's, young kids, there's also older people, middle-aged people, just really judging how you, like what types of songs, and I guess, how, like even your demeanour, if I'm emceeing, how you sort of deliver your speeches. Okay. So it's just looking at people and even trying to interact with them, just, looking at them, smiling. It's really just implementing those people skills and really understanding how you can engage with people. And if you can do that within the first few minutes, then it'll sort of set a little foundation up of how you can sing, how you can perform, and how you can tell the story.
So we've gone off that. Is your set list of what you're going to sing like just a rough range and then you adapt it on the night, or is there a rough game plan already going in based on the people? Generally,
there's a bit of a game plan going in. I mean, some clients are a little bit more flexible than others. There's some clients that are like, no, I definitely have to have this list of songs, and sometimes that can make up your whole set. But then there's other people that are like, well, we just love 80s music. So then I've just, look at my repertoire, and then that's where I have to really judge the room, whether it be by myself or in a band or whoever I'm performing with, to really be able to judge, okay, well, yeah, all right, it's 80s music, they're really going to vibe with this one. Let's start off with a classic to ease them in. If they respond well, then we can go to the next. So you sort of learn to like coordinate and categorize all of your music, which is actually like a really fun part of the creative process.
It would be. So in this industry, you'd be giving a lot of your energy to people. How do you avoid burnout when it comes to that?
It definitely is a challenge, particularly with events, because some seasons are busier than others, so you sort of need to set yourself up to deliver more and give more energy out. But I think it's just being strategic with how many gigs I actually book, and also the types of gigs that I book. Just looking at how much energy is going to be required in this one, and judging respective to the other ones, and then even say within a week or whatever, allocating days of rest, allocating days just away from even just the admin of work. And that's very hard when obviously you've got so much to do, to be able to step back from that. That's probably something I've struggled with in the past, because I always want to go full steam ahead. But it is something that I've just had to really learn to do, taking 2 steps back to be able to take those steps forward. So I think just taking out time for that self-care in whatever way that looks like in that week, to then be able to set me up, to get me ready to be able to perform at my best.
Confidence will be a big thing in the industry. How, or what advice would you give to people who might not have that confidence to put themselves out there and actually go for it when they want to? This is going to sound so simplistic, but you literally, even when you're scared, you literally just need to go for it. I mean,
it's terrifying. Like, I think to put yourself out there and, essentially you're the product of, your business. You're selling yourself, and I'm not saying that in a creepy way, but it is, it is a place where you are required to be this confident person that, you may not recognize at first. And it is vulnerable at the same time. But I think if you get comfortable with that vulnerability, then you'll be able to excel. And then the more and more you do it, just like anything, the more and more you go to the gym, the fitter that you get. And confidence is like a muscle. You need to keep exercising it in order to improve. So that's probably the best advice. And then just go for it. And also remember your why. That's probably the biggest thing. Like, remember why you're there. Because I think, like, for me, my why is I get to literally be part of someone's memories for a lifetime and for generations. If I'm singing, my voice is literally going to be on that wedding video for years on end, and then kids and grandkids and everything are going to be watching it. That I do that because I've been able to make a difference to someone's moment. So even when I'm scared, I think, I want to do this because it's for them. So that's for me.
Love that answer.
There's my sappy, my hopeless romantic answer.
I'd love to actually see a little bit of your work, and especially for the audience as well to see it. Do you have some videos that you might be able to show us?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. All right. I can show you the ones from like the other night.
Yeah.
Doing my Italian thing.
I want to be at the wedding.
It was really fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
Even like your outfit, you have to show up.
Yeah. What's a dark room, and I'm like, I have to contrast to the room, otherwise no one sees me. I know, so diva.
That's great.
Then there's even.
So I don't know if this is the right word. Are you bilingual?
Yes.
Is that the right word?
Yeah. I sing in Spanish too, so I've
you?
Yeah, I've done that as well.
Italian, Spanish, and English.
Yeah, I've done like Spanish gigs as well, and like I'm getting more of them. I did one wedding where I had to MC in English, Italian, and Spanish.
So you're fluent in Spanish. What's that? Trilingual?
I'm fluent in Italian.
Yeah.
But I've learnt like Spanish songs and everything like that. The languages are so similar; it's quite easy to do.
How do you MC then?
I will it's part of my speech, I will just memorize a part of it, and then deliver it, but even beforehand, I try and look up filler words that I can do, and then I just try and make it look seamless.
I tell people I'm fluent Italian.
Yeah.
Then they ask me to show them, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh, I love this song.
Yeah.
And how much do you actually remember?
What, in terms of the lyrics?
Yeah.
I try my best to memorize as much as possible. I always have my iPad there just as a safety net, but.
My toxic trait is at the weddings I'm also singing a little bit out loud.
You're lip syncing?
Especially songs like that. That's fantastic.
So yeah, it's that one's really nice.
That is nice.
And then.
For you, darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. All along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000.
Actually, this bit I can show you. This I actually did like a floor show it was like for a Colombian wedding.
Oh.
Yeah.
A floor show, is that like dancing as well?
Yeah, like dancing and moving around.
Yes, do that one. Singing while dancing.
There you go.
Where are you?
Yeah, I am there in the red dress.
Oh, in the middle?
In the middle.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Where are you?
And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind. that I put down in words. How wonderful life is. Now you're in the world.
You make me want to dance right now, don't you?
Well done.
Was that,
That's actually really good.
Was there something in there?
There actually is.
Was there something in there?
He wants validation.
Is there talent in there?
There actually is. That's not like you weren't yelling there.
No, it was coming straight.
Yeah, like from the heart.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
all
not
in the gut.
test stuff?
Nah, not in the
Right,
test. Oh yeah. Oh my god. No, that was
Perfect.
very good.
I think see, I got that on video.
It's singer approved.
A professional told me.
Yeah.
Antoinette, thank you very much for coming on today.
Thank you so
for
much.
showing us your videos
Yes.
and telling us a little bit about your service.
Thank you.
It has been great to hear about what you do.
Thank you for having me.
Perfect.
Thank you.
If you found value in this episode, be sure to follow along for the remainder of our 30 in 30 series. And if you want to support this business, check out her details below.